Good morning, Delaware. We've got a little surprise for you this morning. It is actually Nicole Fowles and Hannah Simpson.
Good morning, Nicole.
Hannah.
Good morning,
Hooray.
Mark. Someone has coffee that smells incredible.
Is it mine? I think
No.
it's mine.
No, I think it's Mark's.
Oh, is it Mark's?
It's mine. Nee.
See, I go to the natural. Is it me? Could it be me?
Yes, I know.
Could it be?
It's an Italian because I went to Italy this past summer.
Oh, did you go to
Yeah,
Italy this
yeah,
past
no,
summer?
no, you did.
No, I know. I got the joke.
I'm done.
They've been giving me such a hard time because, just sometimes I have to bring up Italy just because it was the greatest experience of my life. But I will talk about our guest now. Our guest joining us this morning is Beth McCollum from Preservation Parks of Delaware County. Welcome, Beth.
Good morning, Nicole. Good morning, Hannah.
Good morning, Beth.
We're always happy to have you because when you are on the show, it means that we are like truly in summer.
It is summer mode.
We're really in summer reading club. We're really in the summer letterbox adventure. It just is like cozy.
It's
I think it's the
summertime.
opposite of cozy. It's like exciting. It's adventure. It's time to go.
Oh, I don't know. When I think about like walking through the parks and the trees
Calming.
and the green canopy.
It's tranquil.
Yes.
It's a different type of cozy. And if you want to really get into it, at our new McCammon Creek Park,
Yes.
we have the old Christmas tree lot. So you can walk through like a grove of pine trees.
Stop
So
it.
But
outdoor
that smells
cozy.
amazing.
Okay.
Wow.
All right. Well, that sounds really wonderful. I'm gonna remember that too in the wintertime. Oh, with a little bit of snow on them.
Delightful.
I bet that's glorious. Well, as we usually do, we like to start the show talking about one of our favorite things. It's books. Hannah, is there anything that you've read lately that you'd like to share with our readers or with our readers? Well, they are readers and listeners.
Right.
Yeah.
I just finished an audiobook called In the Chiffon Trenches by Andre Leon Talley. And I don't know if you are fashion people, but he was...
I think my outfit could say no.
Stop. You look great. He was brought to... He died in 2022, but he was an editor and all of that at Vogue, and he worked specifically in exhibits. Even pre-Met, he worked with Diana Vreeland, who was two editors before Anna Wintour. And this past Met Gala was called Superfine, The Art of Black Tailoring and Dandyism. And he was very much a black dandy, and I missed him. He had passed in 2022, and I was like, oh, man. ALT would have loved this exhibit. Man, I really missed him that day. And so he had written a memoir back in 2021 or 2019, and he read it for the audiobook. And so I was like, and he had a very, very dramatic voice. He's from the South, and he had a little bit of a lisp. And so he'd say, honey, I was friends with Karl Lagerfeld until I wasn't. And
Yes.
And I just missed his voice. And so I got to spend 10 hours with ALT, and he talks about the fashion world and the art of it and the politics of it. And he really was a historian. So he knew that the angle of this collar comes from this time period, and he knew all his references. And so it was educational, but also, if you were familiar with his work, comforting to return. It's like having him back just for 10 hours. And it was just delightful and very interesting, some of the stories he could tell. And, a little bit of pettiness. And
Right.
he had some fallings out with people. And it was just a delightful 10 hours of culture.
I do love a good celebrity bio.
Yeah.
It gives you a peek behind the curtain. It gives you a little look at how the other half lives, and gives you some of the tea.
Yeah. I mean, he talks about, because he was in his 70s when he passed, about living through New York in the 80s, and he talks about his unwillingness to be in a romantic relationship ever in his life. And he says, and that saved my life in the 80s, being a gay man. And so you talk about those sort of things, and the fact that Karl Lagerfeld dropped him as a friend because he gained weight.
Well,
Right. It's insane, but
some of us wouldn't survive.
no. But it's very interesting, and I was really sad to see it end.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
highly recommend if you're into fashion and that sort of thing.
Say the title again.
In the Chiffon Trenches by Andre Leon Talley.
Andre Leon Talley.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Beth, you were saying that you don't get to finish a lot of books nowadays, but the good thing is you're on our show twice a year, so you have 6 months to tell us, to pull back into your repertoire and tell us something that you've read. Is there anything good?
Yeah, so I've been picking up some of my kids' books, and they are getting into the historical fiction.
Love
like
historical
me.
fiction.
Good for them. I didn't know that really could be an entertaining genre until I was probably 35.
Yeah, I think I've always enjoyed historical fiction, and I think it just started young, actually reading like the Diary of Anne Frank or something.
Right.
That's obviously
Nonfiction. But yeah. Mm-hmm.
But just having, being able to like travel back in time, and learning about different time periods is very intriguing to me. So my kids have been reading Jennifer A Nielsen.
Mm-hmm.
She has Iceberg, she has Uprising, and they're all about true historical events, but fictional characters, around us. And they're elementary appropriate.
Right.
So, yeah.
I found that I wanted to introduce my daughter to something along those lines. And so we started with the I Survived series, which is a good kind of gateway to get into historical fiction. The first one I listened to was I Survived the Sinking of the Titanic. And it made me cry. I was like, this is stupid. So maybe I don't go into historical fiction tragedies. Yeah. And we try something else.
Yes. And they've gotten into those.
Right.
Yeah.
Iceberg and Uprising, what are is Iceberg about the Titanic? Yes. And Uprising, which one does that kind of focus on?
That's a good question.
I asked you too quickly. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Uprising. I think that was a World War II one.
Okay.
Yeah. I might be mistaken. Maybe, maybe someone listening could correct me on that.
Right. Callers, call us. 740-368-1550.
Wow, very good.
I know. Thank
nice.
You. I have a pretty good memory sometimes. Yeah. All right. So I actually went to a classic. I listened to George Orwell's 1984. Ooh. It was not the actual words that George Orwell wrote, but it was an Audible original adaptation. But I think that it still says that the classic stands. Mm-hmm. And if you would listen to it as George Orwell wrote it, or if you would read it, in a graphic novel format, I think that's why classics become classics, is because no matter where you are in time and no matter what's happening in the world, you can read it and it still feels relevant. You can adapt it and you can listen to the things that the people are saying, and you're like, yep, that still tracks. Everything's still there. So this adaptation that I'll give a quick plug to is narrated by Andrew Garfield. He is Winston Smith. Oh, and Cynthia.
What a dreamboat.
And Cynthia Erivo
is
Julia, yes. And Tom Hardy is Big Brother.
Sorry, that was probably a weird noise on the radio. Tom Hardy brings that out.
Big Brother, Andrew Garfield, Cynthia Erivo. It was really, really great. So it was a quick listen. It was only about 3.5 hours worth of a listen. It was a difficult listen. I know that I read 1984 when I was in high school. It was one of those required reading books. I remembered something to do with rats. I remembered something to do with, obviously just Big Brother kind of in his presence, omnipresence. But I didn't remember just how gruesome it was. There's a lot of torture. There's a lot of people missing. There's a lot of mental manipulation, political manipulation. I mean, that's what the story is all about. So if you don't know 1984, super high level is that there is a completely government that knows everything that you're doing. Assume that there are cameras everywhere. Assume everyone's watching. Assume you have zero privacy no matter where you are. The main character, Winston, is starting to think thought crimes, which, of course, the one thing that the government can't manipulate is what's happening in your head until they can. And he is, thinking about like, oh, well, this thing that they said yesterday that we're at war with Eurasia is different from this thing that they're saying today that we're allies with Eurasia. That doesn't seem right. But anytime the government says anything, anytime Big Brother says it, then it is so. And if you think otherwise, then you've committed a thought crime. And so Winston is starting to try and find allies, and that's where Julia and some of the other characters come into play. But it was really great. I do recommend, I recommend going back to this classic. If you haven't had a moment, it is a good one, but you got to be in the right mental headspace for it. And Andrew Garfield helped.
Oh, and Tom Hardy. That whole cast helps.
It was a great cast. It was a really great listen. So with that, we will take a break. We will come back on the other side and talk with Beth McCollum from Preservation Parks of Delaware County about Summer Letterbox Adventure and how you can get out and explore our parks this summer. Stay tuned.
This is Dave Hebanowski, your local juvenile court judge, reminding you not to be delinquent and listen to Mark, Sherry, and Pam on The Breakfast Club.
Welcome back. We're happy to have you with us this morning. We are talking with Beth McCollum, who is the Communications and Marketing Manager for Preservation Parks of Delaware County, Ohio. Preservation Parks is just one of our favorite friends at the Delaware County District Library. And you guys have had so much growth over the 10 years that I have even known, 15 years that I've known about the parks. Can you first talk a little bit about the parks and where you are and what people can expect when they come and visit a park?
Absolutely. So we are just coming off of our 50th anniversary.
Yay!
Congratulations. The park
Congratulations.
was founded. Thank
Yes.
you. Thank you. But really, our parks are relatively new. If you're not familiar with preservation parks, think maybe like High Banks, but on a smaller scale.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to get a nature park when you come to preservation parks. So you're not going to find pickleball courts.
Okay.
You're not going to find a soccer field. But what you are going to find is the calm and quiet that I think we all need in our lives, an opportunity to disconnect. So you're going to find nature trails. You're going to find a bench, to sit and contemplate the sounds and sights around you. You're going to find a place to bird watch. You might find a small playground at a couple of our parks. You could find a creek to splash your feet in. You can explore the parks in all different types of ways, like our summer letterbox that we're going to be talking about.
Yeah.
We have a summer exhibit. We have programs if you want to dig deeper into nature. And you're going to be able to, look out over the water or find a shale cliff or something. So there's all sorts of things.
It is really beautiful, and it's worth exploring because each of them is very unique in their own way. And so I think that's one of the things that the Summer Letterbox Adventure kind of helps people do. It kind of gamifies getting out and seeing all those different parks. So we partner every year on Summer Letterbox Adventure. Tell our listeners a little bit about what that is if they've never heard of it.
Yeah, so every year we partner with the library and we try to match a theme. So the theme for the library this year is color by
Libraries, color our world.
Color our
it's
world.
Painting and art and creativity.
Yes. So we were able to run with that and talking about different colors in nature and how nature uses colors. Animals use colors as camouflage or as a warning, like, hey, I'm a poisonous.
Stay away. Right.
Stay away. So in our letterbox this year, we explore color. So, for example, Blues Creek Park.
Oh. Wonder what color that might be.
So how did Blues Creek get its name?
I don't know. Blues Creek.
Is it music blues or is it like a flower that blooms there?
You'll have to dig into the letterbox to find out.
Stay tuned.
But really, we talk about in the letterbox different things that are blue at Blues Creek Park. Well, there's a creek that is named Blues Creek, right? Going through Ostrander. So maybe it goes back to the creek. And how did that creek get its name? So you'll have to do the letterbox.
We'll have to do
find
the
out.
letterbox to find out.
Yeah.
That's so cute. I will say your art is beautiful. I'm looking at your summer letterbox adventure booklet, and it's a bee sitting on a flower with some colored pencil colors. Behind it is just very gorgeous. And so, but I think that is one of the things that the letterbox adventure helps us do, is it helps us really dig into the things at each of the parks, to stop, to look at nature. But talk about the game issue of it, like not issue, but the gamification of it. So like what are they trying to find? What are we on an adventure to get to at the end?
Sure. So to participate in the summer letterbox, you can register online, or you can pick up a booklet at one of the many Delaware libraries. And the goal is to get to at least 4 parks during the summer. And then you explore at least 4 parks. You follow the clues. You find a box. We call it a letterbox, but people are like, what's a letterbox? It's like a pencil box that you might have at school. And in that letterbox, you'll find a little picture. And you take that picture and you draw it in your booklet. And then you put everything back into the box, and there's a little notebook in there. You could write a note for the next person to find it. It's just kind of fun finding it after you've, followed. It's a scavenger hunt through the parks.
People might have heard the term geocaching.
Geocaching.
Yeah, and so this is like geocaching, but with instead of using coordinates, you're using clues, and you're also taking the time to soak in nature along the way.
We look at it as a cross between geocaching, scavenger hunt, because you have to read the clues. You learn something about the parks. You learn something about nature, as you go through it, and then you finally find this letterbox.
Yeah, you get to move your body and use your brain.
Absolutely. So, and you're reading the clues, so it's actually part of the summer reading program.
Exactly.
So,
I bet you could count that reading as at least a check on your 15-minute block.
Oh, for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
And if you make the kids read it, then even better.
Even better, right?
And I know in my household, each of my children needs one in their hand, So I'm like, okay, well, we'll print one off online, and then we'll we'll have the one from the library that we've picked up, because it's okay. Yeah. And
so
then
once you get 4 parks, then you could go to one of the libraries or to Deer Haven Park and pick up your prize. And this year, I'm really excited about the prize.
Yeah.
Because you could bring it back to Shale Hollow during closing weekend of our exhibit and tie-dye it.
Oh, that's a great idea.
That's a good idea, too. Well, that's very interesting. We have a 6-hour prize at the library this summer that could also use some tie-dyeing. That
is true.
It is when you read 6 hours with our summer reading club, and you're a youth from 0 to age 12. Or if you're a teen and you want one, you have to go into the youth program then. Then you get a color your own tote. But you could tie-dye your own tote, too, if you really wanted to.
Very neat.
Yeah. That's very cool. So you mentioned exhibits. Where is there an exhibit, and how does that work?
Sure. So every year we have a summer exhibit, Memorial Day weekend through Labor Day weekend. And this year it is called Life on a Leaf. And it explores Ohio native plants. It is at Shale Hollow. You go into the lodge that's normally not accessible, but our staff does an incredible job of creating this museum quality exhibit.
Yeah.
And it is really hands-on and very kid-friendly this year. The kids are climbing up on a leaf, so they actually become it's like you shrink to a bug size, so you can explore this. And then we have a paper artist who has created works of art that hang on the ceiling. And it's really just a beautiful exhibit.
Yeah.
The kids are loving it. There's a little climbing wall. There's a little closet that we've created where they can go in. It's like, they're under a big leaf. And it's just a really cool way to explore nature inside. And I don't know. I looked at the forecast. I thought today was going to be raining.
Yeah.
So,
and whether rain or shine, that's kind of a nice option. You can go into the exhibit, or you can go out and walk around the parks. You have a handful of locations that have that inside area. Shale Hollow. Where are some of the other ones?
Deer Haven Park
Deer Haven.
has the visitor center, so you can explore around there and all sorts of animals. And Wanda, people love Wanda the snake.
Oh,
Oh.
Wanda, we are friends with. Is she your orange?
Yes.
Oh gosh,
I
she's
love a
beautiful.
snake.
Yeah, she's
They're
not
so
a
cute.
native snake,
Right.
But we've adopted her as
I think
one of our own.
I think I heard the story of how she came to be. Was she found in a
was.
delivery of food?
I think so.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, she had traveled many miles,
Poor
only
girl.
only to be discovered by some probably very scared human. But she is very sweet. I have gotten to hold Wanda. She's a good snake. I am excited about getting out into the parks this summer. Like I said, they're all unique. They're all very fun. But in addition, preservation parks, much like the library, but wait, there's more. So what, you talked about a fun run. Is that coming up?
Yeah, we have the Adventure Run.
An adventure
on
run.
July 12th. It could also be dubbed a mud run.
Oh, no.
You do need to register for that one. And you could do that on our website. Very fun. Go pick, we get a trail ready, and then we get a big tarp, and you could do like a big slip and slide down the sled hill
Yeah.
to finish the mud run.
You
That's
do the slip and slide
amazing.
on the sled. I think I did that actually one winter unintentionally. The snow was kind of mostly gone, so it was like a February mud run.
So that will be at Gallant Woods Park. That's just north of the city of Delaware. And it's just a fun time to get the family out and get into nature, literally.
Is it all ages? Is there something for every age, or do you have a kind of a minimum?
Age 7, I believe, 7 or 8. Ages 7 plus. And you do need to register by July 6th.
Okay, so get on that, get your registration going, and get out to Gallant Woods and prepare to get muddy. Is there going to be like a hose off before folks get back into their cars so they don't? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm very concerned about the interior of my car.
That's a valid concern.
Yes.
This has been great, Beth. We really appreciate. Where can folks find you if they want to learn more about preservation parks?
Thanks. We are at preservationparks.com. We are also on Facebook and Instagram.
Very good. And you do a wonderful job on all of those, too. Well, we'll talk about some things that are happening at the library this summer. We have one of the great things that we do is when we bring performers, they come many, many dates. And so we're going to talk about some of those performers who are coming 1 or 2 or 3 times this summer. So coming up, Shine in the Spotlight with Drama Kids. You can see them 3 times this summer at the, let me double check, Delaware branch, Orange branch, and Liberty branch. But these are our friends, Drama Kids. Great for ages 6 through 12 to teach them a little bit about improv and some of those creative skills that get you up in front of a group of people and feeling silly, which then leads to feeling comfortable so that you don't have that fear of public speaking, which is like, who has that, Mark?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
It's also really good ways to get creative thinking because
Right.
you're thinking on your toes, and a good yes and is always fun to get those kids' brains working.
And that's a good point, too, with the yes and, because that is teaching compromise. That is teaching, which is so hard at that age, that it's not just my idea, it's your idea, and I can build on top of that. And I hear that in my neighborhood all the time.
I bet.
Yeah,
That's
what
for
else
kids
is
ages 6 to 12.
6 to 12? Yep. So that early elementary, or that elementary to early middle school.
We've got a really fun program called Adventure of the Missing Color. And that is about science and color and all of those. So if you have a science-minded kid and this brings science and art together, that is at the Liberty branch, as well as, Nicole, you're going to have to remind me here.
Oh, yep. It's coming. It's at Liberty, Orange, and Delaware. So, yeah. And they do hands-on experiments. They do interactive stories. They kind of use storytelling to also teach science. And so it's a really cool merging of that right brain and left brain whenever kids come to that program. So look up Adventure of the Missing Color so that you can
That's
discover
good for our
where it
elementary
went.
age friends.
Yeah, that's going to be really good for your kiddos grades K through 5. If you've got teens in your household, the thing that they're not going to want to miss is Drop a Beat, Grab the Mic with the Caravan.
Always a blast when the caravan's at the library.
The Caravan is so much fun. They are a group that is going to come and they're going to teach teens turntablism basics, which I didn't even know that turntablism was an actual proper word.
Yeah, I didn't realize there was an art to that, which is exciting.
They're going to do some rhyming, some mic techniques, and just a little bit of the history of the hip hop. This is going to be great for your teens, ages 12 to 17, or as long as you're in middle school or high school, it's pretty much going to work out for you. They're going to be at the Orange Branch, Delaware, and Liberty. So you can always find all of our upcoming events at DelawareLibrary.org or on your Delaware Library app. So make sure you download that on your Play Store wherever you get your apps. Beth, it was a pleasure to have you with us today.
Thank you, Nicole. It's always fun to be here.
Yeah, we're going to be out and about in the parks very, very soon. Hannah, thanks for being our co-host.
Always have a great time here.
Yeah, we're going to see you and Jana even more this summer. Mark, thanks for steering the boat.
Happy weekend.
Happy
Happy weekend.
Happy trails.
Happy trails.
Oh, I see what you did there.
You see that? You got that? All right, well, until next time, we will see you in the stacks.